During the cutscenes, by the way, I had 500 frames per second. I don't even know. Anyway, what's up, YouTube? This is Iron Squire. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Starcraft 2, Wings of Liberty. In the last part, we completed Mission 3, which was called 0 Hour. And in this part, we're going to be talking to everyone here on the, or doing everything here on the bridge, and moving on to the armory. So without further ado, let's talk to Tychus.
One hell of a ship you got here, Jimmy. How'd you get a hold of a floating palace like this?
The Hyperion was Menk's flagship back in the day. Me and Matt decided to borrow her when we parted company with him. This old baby's seen us through some tight spots.
Speaking of tight spots, Tychus, why are you still wearing that suit on my bridge?
Yeah, would you bust the zipper or something?
Okay, so I might have had a little help when I broke out of prison.
Just wanted to adjust my mic about there.
I get to stay locked up in the suit till I pay off all my debts.
I'll get into that later.
And those debts. Who sprung you?
They're Mobius boys, of course. I didn't just run into them in a museum, you know. They want them artifacts something fierce.
Your debts better not bite us in the ass, Tychus. Covering for your shenanigans ain't part of the deal.
Shenanigans. By the way, if you never had that conversation before, that is the way that you unlock an achievement. Let's talk about the Hyperion. Wow, okay. All things I'll be getting into. Matt Horner.
Just how bad is it, Matt?
Zerg are attacking all over the sector, sir. Menk's pulled the fleet back to protect the Dominion core worlds, leaving the fringe worlds to fend for themselves.
It's horrible.
It's a nightmare.
He's basically the
no
Confederacy.
Way we can stop an alien invasion with one capital ship and a handful of volunteers.
You never know.
Best we just stay clear, partner. We can earn ourselves a fortune working for Mobius while this whole thing blows over.
You don't get it, convict. This isn't gonna just blow over.
I like how he calls him
Zerg
convict.
won't stop until we're all dead.
Don't worry, Matt. We ain't sitting this one out. But we're not exactly in tip-top shape either. We'll earn some cash and build up our forces so we can make a difference when it counts.
I like that. Alright, let's head on down to the armory, where upgrades are purchased. I like this guy.
Hey everybody, our glorious leader has returned.
His last name is Swan, by the way, that's why they call him
What
Swan.
do you got for me, Swan?
The usual, building up our standing forces.
Bringing my troops and hardware up to speed, huh?
Yep, you can add upgrades for their tech right here on the console. But building an army on the run ain't cheap. You brought back credits this time, right?
Look, I know money's been tight, but that artifact we just picked up from Marsara is gonna solve everything.
Yeah, I've heard that before, brother.
It's different this time.
Haha.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
There you go. Alright, let's talk to Swan before I get into what the armor console
Upgrading
does.
what we got is all well and good, but when are we getting new hardware? A lot of gaps in our inventory right now.
Sometimes we take a job with some kind of new hardware, and I get a schematic for it so we can make more of them.
Happens all the
For
time.
other stuff, we gotta either beg, borrow, or steal.
That happens a lot too. Alright, so here you can purchase upgrades that are normally able to be researched in the multiplayer version of this game. So like you see here, base. Actually, no, I take that back. Some of the, not all those are there, but some of them are. Like combat shields, stim packs. Mechs aren't in the game, so whatever. Well, in this, I'm going to be going for combat shields. Increases marine life by 10. I don't want to get stim pack until we get combat shields, just because. And I'm also not going for advanced medic facilities, so that medics don't require tech labs. And I'll get into that later when we get to something different. But okay, let's move on back to the bridge. That's what we got credits for, by the way, because that cost 60,000 credits. That's what it takes.
What's our general status, Matt?
We picked up a distress call.
The Mobius boys think there's an...
Any ship receiving this transmission.
Probably shouldn't have done that, should I? That was stupid of me. Alright, anyway. The mission of Monolith.
Jimmy, just like Mobius said.
Basically, Tychus found more artifacts on this world called Monolith. And so we're supposed to go down and actually get the artifacts so we can sell it to the Mobius boys. This mission's going to introduce something as well, but I'm going to let the cutscene play out.
Just hiding underground, waiting?
No idea. but you can bet they're headed straight for our shrine.
We have that show complicated.
By the way, we have to steal this from the Protoss.
We
They're not
can't
going to be
fight two
happy.
armies at once, partner.
With any luck, we won't have to. We only need to hold the area at the top of the shrine long enough to extract the artifact.
Sorry for hearing me yawn. I'm
So
just
we'll
tired.
land here and cut our way through the Protoss lines while they're busy with the Zerg. It's only a matter of time before the Zerg overwhelm the Protoss. We'd best grab the artifact.
It looks like the
Long
Protoss are
gone
getting
by
owned
now.
right now. Alright, so Tychus... Sorry I cut through that. That was stupid of me. So basically, Tychus found these artifacts on the world monolith. And now he wants us to go claim them from the Protoss. The Protoss aren't going to go down without a fight. And especially concerning that the relic is guarded by a bunch of fanatics called the Tal'Darim, who are extremely religious. They're like the most religious people within the Protoss. So that's who we have to steal it from. We'll be running into these guys a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. It's not that we found artifacts. I'm thinking of something else. We found another piece of the artifact that we had.
I feel you. By the number.
Yeah, you guessed it. I didn't do this immediately after. I cut out of the game.
Boys.
Alright. Oh, okay. Here's the first Protoss relic. These... Okay, let's see if it kills it here. I'll explain myself. Claiming these relics, there are two different kinds of
The Zerg
relics.
severely outnumber the Protoss forces. It is likely the Protoss will fall shortly.
There are Zerg relics and there are Protoss relics.
We
Gosh
gotta
dang it.
get that artifact.
Stop interrupting me.
Zerg overrun the whole place.
Thank you.
TV ready.
No, don't move out.
Sure does.
But, there are two types of relics. There are...
Warning. Protoss stalkers are gathering at our perimeter.
Protoss relics and there are Zerg relics.
In transmission.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
I got something new for you, cowboy. Marauders. The latest word in big bada boom hardware.
I ain't sure this is the best time to be experimenting, Swan.
Best time there is. Let the Marauders
I agree.
loose against those stalkers and you'll see.
I don't mind getting Marauders. Heck, those Stalkers would tear our guys to pieces. By the way, if you're wondering how those Marauders actually got there, a dropship came and chopped them off. Should have probably shown that, shouldn't I? Anyway. So there are Zerg and Protoss relics, each of which grants you one research point for what is known as research. These research points allow you to research different, like, perks that go with each race, that deal with them very specifically. Like, no, we're not going to have enough after this level, but after the next mission, we'll be able to have enough. So, yeah, I think you need 5 relic point. You need 5 research points, basically 5 relics, to be able to unlock the next thing. It's claiming the relics can give you bonus objectives, and unlocking all the bonus objectives or completing them gives you an achievement in most levels. So I recommend it. I mean, it helps you get through the game easy. But if you're playing a speedrun of this and it's just easier to do without, whatever. I personally am not a speedrunner. Actually, after you're done, build another barracks. Then come over. Build another STV. So yeah, when you get 5 research points, I'll explain it more in depth because you guys will actually be able to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're pretty good. I will, by the way, be getting all of the research points on both sides because there's a Zerg and a Protoss way of doing things. And you always have 2 choices. You can either have one way or another way in each individual branch. And yeah, taking one over the other is not necessarily better, not necessarily worse. It just is what it is, depending on how you like to play, just your play style. There we are. And by the way, I have played through this campaign only once, but I do know all of the missions to play in order to get all of the missions done. Like, there's a certain order you have to do some of these in order to...
Incoming Zerg attack wave.
That's to us, by the way. Even my medic, it's really annoying. Okay, make you a reactor, we're going for 3 racks again.
Who wants some?
Can you barely outrange that? That's what I thought. Alright. Again, killing the pylon will unpower the cannon, so that's always good. Pull back. Keep him alive so we can fight them.